So I heard you want to read more in 2025, but you have no idea what books to read. Today, I'm going to give you guys a bunch of different book recs so you can get into reading. Okay, so the first genre we're going to start with is cute little rom-com books because they are just my favorite and they're so easy to get through and they're just like a fun time. So the first one I have to recommend to everyone I literally ever known is Better Than the Movies. This book is so cute. I literally got through this book in like 2 days, and that's saying a lot because I take forever to read any book ever. But if you need like a good fast-paced book that just makes you feel good, Better Than the Movies is where it's at. This book is about a totally romantic girl who wants her life to be like a rom-com. So she uses her childhood nemesis to try to get with her crush. It's weird. But then her and her childhood nemesis start spending more time together and like things happen. You have to read it. This will get you out of your reading slump. Next book is Anna and the French Kiss. This one is also just so cute and like quick and such a lighthearted little book. It's about a girl moving to Paris for a boarding school, and this handsome guy quickly becomes one of her best friends, but there's a little something more going on. But he has a girlfriend, so there is kind of a cheating trope in there, but like other than that, it's a really good book. You guys should definitely read it. Okay, next one is The Unhoneymooners. This one, again, is just a cute little light reading book. It is a rom-com about Olive and Ethan, and basically their siblings are getting married, but the wedding goes wrong and they hate each other. But there's like a honeymoon up for grabs, so they're like, okay, we can fake date each other and go on this honeymoon. Obviously, they're gonna get closer together, and like there's fake dating in this, and like it's really good. It's really cute, and it's like ooh. I don't really know how to describe it, guys. I'm sorry. That's like a really bad representation of the book. Like, what is that? But yeah, they basically just spend time on a honeymoon with each other and they can't stand each other. So it's really funny and it's really cute. Okay, the next one is The Hating Game, and this one is kind of similar to The Unhoneymooners. It's another one where they can't stand each other. So they work together and they're enemies, and like there's close proximity, and then they'll find themselves in like these little romantic situations, and it's like, wait, what is happening here? Okay, next we're going to be moving on to the genre of fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy girly myself, but I have been starting to get into it, so maybe we can get into it together. So the first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I had seen this everywhere on TikTok, and I finally was like, okay, let me pick it up. Look, for me not being a fantasy girly, this got me into the fantasy world. You guys should just test it out. Maybe if you want to dip your toes into fantasy, this is a really good place to start. And it's a faster paced book, which is good because I get bored really easily. And it's basically about this girl who gets like captured, and she has to live her new life in this new land, and her captor is like this beast, but she realizes, wait, maybe he's like not a beast all the time. But then she notices like, okay, something is not wrong in this land. Like this shadow is growing and it's scary. So there's a good mix of like dark fantasy in that book and like romance. Okay, sticking with like the fantasy, we have A Cruel Prince. Now this one was a little bit harder for me to get into, but it was definitely worth it. Once you get your feet into the world, it's like yes. Her two sisters get like taken away to this high court for fairies, and she just wants to live there. She wants to go and live there. But the thing is, like, many of those people despise humans, so it's like, girl, you can't live there. And one of the people in the fairyland who hates humans the most is the king, so she has to like defy him, but then also like, what's happening? Like something happens. So this one is also a little fantasy and romance book, and I say just pick it up, just buy it. If you want to get into fantasy, this is also a good one. Okay, so the next book, I didn't really know like what genre to put it in because it's not really fantasy, but it's also not like a rom-com-y book. This one is The Inheritance Games. It's a lot of puzzles and like mystery, but also not super mystery, not super fantasy because there aren't like fairies and werewolves. But this is a really good one if you're kind of just into like puzzles and like solving and like, oh my gosh, I need to turn the page because what is happening? And of course, there's romance in it, guys, of course. Who do you think I am? Oh, it matches my shirt. Ooh. But yeah, you guys have to pick this one up. It is about this girl, Avery, and her whole life changes when this one billionaire just gives her all of his money. But in order for her to get the inheritance, she has to live in the house of like the family. Obviously, no one likes her in the house, though, because it's like, why did he give this random girl money instead of his family members? But inside the house, there's like a bunch of puzzles and stuff, and it's like, okay, what is this house? What is happening? So you guys definitely have to read this one. It's super fast-paced, and you just want to keep turning the page. Okay, This one is also kind of transitioning into like murder mystery-esque. It is The Maid. As you guys can see, this is a really quick little calm read. She's a maid at a hotel, but one day she enters a suite and finds this rich man very, very dead. They automatically think that she did it just because of the way she's talking and the way she's acting, but she didn't do it, guys. Or did she? Maybe I shouldn't tell you. But Molly is like, girl, no, I didn't do this. So she has to get down to the bottom of who actually did it and also clear her name full of mystery and plot twists. And I think you guys will really like it. Okay, now I'm going to move on to like nonfiction / self-help books. I'm not a big nonfiction reader girly myself, so I only have 2 books in this category, but these 2 books have actually like changed my life. Okay, so the first one is Big Magic. And this one is How to Live a Creative Life. It's basically just an inspiring and empowering book about how to use your creativity for the better and how to not be scared of your ideas and how to like let your energy flow out of yourself. I originally saw Olivia Rodrigo read this and I was like, you know, if Olivia Rodrigo read this, I should read it. And it was amazing. She said it helped her write one of her albums, and without reading this book, her album would not have been the same, and I fully believe that. I would say just like pick it up and give it a shot. My second favorite self-help book is The Secret. My copy of it is like disgusting and like grimy. I don't even know how this happened. So there's different like secret books, I believe, but the one that I have is The Secret to Teen Power. This one really helped me just like get through life and understand the law of attraction, which is a really big thing for me. It basically talks about whatever you want in the universe, you have to attract it yourself and tell yourself what you want, and you're going to get what you want in life, basically. This is the literal key to success, you guys. Just don't look at the grease stain on it. Okay, the last genre I have for you guys is like somewhere in the middle of like love books, but also kind of like dark and heavy books where you learn a lot of lessons throughout the way, but it is kind of like heavier topics to deal with. Okay, so the first one in this genre is Without Merit. This one's by Colleen Hoover. So it is an emotional story and a very heavy story. It is about this girl, Merit, who is dealing with her unfunctional family, but also struggles with issues of her own. I will put a little trigger warning on here because there are some sensitive topics in this book, but it also talks just about like mental health, finding your voice, and just like overall deep relatable issues. But I think it is a really good book, and for me at least, I was able to read this in like a day or 2, and I am a very slow reader. Yeah, it really just kept like the strings of my heart attached the entire read, so I definitely recommend for you guys to go check it out. Another one by Colleen Hoover. This one is It Ends With Us. I recently just watched the movie on Netflix and it was very good. I also want to put a trigger warning on this one because there are some sensitive topics and it talks about like domestic abuse and family issues. But it is about Lily Bloom and she's just trying to navigate her life and do what she thinks is right for her. It's very heavy, but I think it gives a really good lesson in the end. And with that, those are some of my recommendations for you guys. I challenge you to choose at least one book from this video and read it, and hopefully it gets you out of your reading slump. 2025 is going to be a good year for the book girlies. I can just feel it. I also have another book rec video posted on my channel. I made it like 3 years ago, so it's like definitely for a younger audience, but if you guys still want to check it out and support the channel, that would be amazing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.